Hey, Trader's Edge, it's Mark Sebastian, your only option, and this is your wrap-up for the week. We're going to look at the levels in the S&P. We're going to look at levels in the Qs. We're going to talk about the VIX, and we'll even talk a little bit about what I think is the most important event of the year. We'll look at bonds and precious metals after that. So let's dig in. SPX closed up at 5303, not an all-time high. We had an all-time high for the SPX on Wednesday. Gave a little bit back on Thursday. Seems to be maybe kind of starting a bull flag process. Maybe we're a little bit soft for the next day or two. Why? Well, I'll get to that in a minute. The Qs. Similar story. They actually ended the day down on Friday, second day in a row, but they had a booming day. It's just been a banner month for the market so far. The Qs opened on May 1st at what? 423. We're up $28. That is an incredible move, folks. Just absolutely massive. What I think is fascinating is that while we've had this massive move, volatility is getting wrecked. Look at the VIX, closed 1199. Our first close below 12 in, I believe, since COVID. We've had prints of 12, but we've not closed below 12. If this trend continues, that is a big deal, and I'll talk about that at the end. Now, what is the big news for next week and what was news this week? Nvidia. It's yet to close at a new all-time high, despite the really strong rally in the Qs. Vol is really high. Why? Earnings. This earnings, of all earnings this season, most important. Probably most important earnings of the year. This may even trump a Fed day with how important I believe is the market. We've seen that AI narrative have problems during earnings season. What if Nvidia comes up flat? What do markets do? I don't think anything good. Speaking of good, the bond market, it's really strengthened, although it's starting to soften up again. After a really nice Thursday, pulled back and is now starting to break to threaten the 50-day moving average. That 50-day breaks could be a tough one. IEF looks pretty darn similar. And gold. You know, for those of you that think inflation is subsiding, I give you 223.66 in GLD. That is an all-time high close. Now, inflation adjusted, it is not. But gold is just off to the races. Silver absolutely blowing higher. Look at SLV just take off. We're starting to see those markets really heat up. So it's weird. VIX is declining while precious metals money is pouring into those. So what does this all lead into? Well, I hope you saw our event on Thursday night. It was me, Hannah, and Andrew Giovinazzi, and we were talking about something called the Gamma Bomb. Now, what is the Gamma Bomb? It is something that happens every so often. I want to take you back to UVXY, and I want to go back to 2018. I know, a long time ago. But this is an important period of time for us, folks. Here we are in 2018. UVXY is just dying. And then we get this massive, massive pop. Split adjusted in the course of just a few weeks, UVXY goes from 24,000 up to about 75,000. And in fact, on the 31st, it closes split adjusted at 27,000. 2 days later, it tops out at 76. Just absolutely. So it tripled. And what happened was a gamma bomb. Traders were way too deep into being short volatility. Now, traders aren't too deep being short volatility directly, but traders are very deep on being short zero DTE options that expire at the end of the day. the volumes have just exploded. Look at the volume from today. The 5,300 calls traded 110,000 times. The 05s, 82,000. The 10s, 62,000. This volume is now over 50% of the total index. Now it's traders coming in and out, but on a daily basis in the morning, we're approaching a level where VIX isn't able to, it's not VIX, excuse me, S&P futures are not in a spot where they can handle all the hedging activity that potentially arises from these zero DTE options. It's a very important thing to be on top of and be on keeping track of, because zero DTE, all that short premium that's coming in and selling it on a daily basis, it's compressing and compressing and compressing. It's the same thing that happened at XIV. People just jumped in. I think we're getting to the point where it's a little overboard. You've got to watch my presentation that I did on this on Thursday. If you haven't, click the link in this email and you can watch it. But just be aware that despite the VIX being really low, there are some real underlying dangers. I don't know what would set this thing off. What I would imagine is we get a big sell, people freak out, and then somebody lifts the book, and meaning they buy every option they can. Market makers sell futures, but it's too many futures for the S&P 500 market on the CME to handle. Next thing you know, futures are pushing cash is pushing futures, and we're lower. All right, folks, again, click the link. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, leave a comment, or ask me a question. All right, everybody, I'm Mark Sebastian, your only option. Have a great day. I'll see you.